So I've made plenty of different sales and deals videos on the channel around Nintendo Switch eShop discounts, but you know what is better than a discounted Switch game? A 100% free game, and that is why today we have to talk about Guardian Tales, which is a fantastic, very Zelda-esque style action RPG, pixel art style that you can hop into the eShop and download right now. I will have a link in my description that will take you straight to the game to download and experience, because boy, we have a lot to unpack with this game. I have put hours and hours and honestly went a lot further in than I intended to just for the video's sake because of how much fun this game actually is. Now, Guardian Tales was kind enough to sponsor this video, so huge shout outs to them, but it was really one of those things that as I started playing and seeing the mechanics firsthand of what this game had to offer, I felt very connected to this gameplay style with the amount of 2D Zelda games that I have dove into over the years. A Link to the Past, A Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, Minish Cap. Think that kind of style when it comes to some of the combat mechanics, in addition to things like puzzles and upgradable weapons all along the way, but also think more flexibility than that, because there were honestly all types of different weapons to dive into that you may want to keep as your main and continue to go down its upgrade path. As in one point in the game, I was playing through it with a bow as my main weapon. They even have rocket launchers and things in this game. But when I progressed in the story to find the Master Blade and had a pretty comical interaction with the blacksmith that you come across that can upgrade your weapons, he unfortunately destroyed the Master Blade, which was probably a weapon that could have been fantastic because the special attack was literally able to wipe out more than half the screen worth of enemies. And he unfortunately broke it trying to upgrade it, then made that classical Zelda reference where he says, "It's dangerous to go alone, take this," and gives a gun to one of the other characters in the story. And that is where we also need to spend a little bit of time, because you come across so many different cool characters in the main adventure mode, and you're ultimately building out a party of up to 4 on screen at the same time, which causes a lot of chaos during big boss battles, but you're building out your team. I was personally very happy when the white beast wolf looking creature became my friend instead of foe, because he bit me originally when we came across paths, and actually a couple times after that, but then he ends up realizing you're on his side and you guys kind of go off on your adventure together. And the best part about continuing to grow your team is they are all able to level up as well. You have experience points that you can pour into your main character or anyone else in your group, and just the single player adventure mode of this game alone already has loads and loads of content and fun boss battles and unique enemies and really cool puzzles. And I can't drive home the point enough, very Zelda-like puzzles in this game to be experienced and enjoyed with their own unique twist on them, as you'll be lifting heavy boulders, throwing explosive bombs, and slinging yourself across obstacles to discover hidden pathways and find those hidden treasures. There's a lot of side and main content in this game, and you get to determine which path you want to go on. If you're more into playing online with friends, they have a huge amount of side content with PvP based things. And I even created my own guild, Sunbro Nation Guild, that I'm the only member of right now, but feel free to join and we'll raise those numbers up and have some fun while we're at it. There are also very cool dungeon sections dedicated to getting different materials that you'll need to upgrade whatever you're trying to upgrade. Like you have Resource Dungeon, Awakening Dungeon, Damage Reduction Dungeon, Solo Dungeon, Skill Dungeon. It's all a lot of fun. That is one of many different side things you can focus on this game, besides just the main overall arching story and progression of the overworld map, as you build out a city as well that kind of acts as your central hub for the game. And if you do want to build out your summons in this game, right now is a fantastic time, as from December 27th through January 10th, you will get up to 50 free summons, and that is at a rate of 10 summons per day, which there are also numerous daily rewards just for logging in that you'll want to keep up with and add to your team and your party. And that is another thing about this game. You get connected to the characters that you start to try to level up and add into your party, and strategically swap in and out based on what their strong suits and weapons abilities that they have are. And while I was primarily playing this game through the main story, I also found myself going down a rabbit hole with the tower gameplay, because this reminds me a lot of a chaotic, just get good enough to progress and overcome the massive waves of enemies that continue to get harder and harder as you progress through the tower levels. And I definitely fell into that gameplay loop where, yeah, you're going to get experience, resources, and everything you want to grab from those towers, but it's also just a cool one wave after another of crazy enemies and bosses to get to the end of them and to continue to progress. And it has that hardcore challenge element that I really enjoy in games as you get into the later levels and continue to progress through towers. I also found myself really enjoying all of the party customization option, with literally being able to select individual costumes for your main character, but then also things like strategy. You find rings, you find different power-up items and elements that you can equip to each member in your party. So you can either focus on a stylized approach to your characters and how you want them to look, or you can focus on a stat-based approach to your characters, or a little bit of both. I also do enjoy the city building option in your Sky Island, where you can choose if you want convenience stores, bakeries, coffee shops, or various different style entertainment venues that you can choose where they go. You can construct new things, you can just demolish old things. You literally have all of the power in the world to set up your Sky Island exactly how you want. This game has a ton of different options, various themes even throughout the world map and side story, including fantasy, Christmas, academy, snow mountain, desert, and many others, and you can ultimately choose how you want to play this game. This game was very popular on mobile, and I honestly think it is the best fit for the Nintendo Switch, because I personally, don't know about you guys, don't enjoy touch input controls near as much with playing through games, but whenever you get that traditional button layout and the game just so happens to be fast-paced, engaging, high-intensity action, upgradable weapons and abilities, skill tree style path, like that is all so freaking much stuff to play through for free. And there is, of course, a shop where you can choose to spend your in-game earned currency, or you can buy things to get ahead. But I will tell you guys that this game honestly gives you everything you need to have a full engaging experience without having to spend your own money to get this kind of stuff, and that is what I am a very big fan of. It's not the type of game that you boot up and feel like you have to start paying money right away just to have an enjoyable experience. You honestly progress at a great pace and have hours and hours and loads of content to go through, with paying for items feeling like an additional option rather than the required path. I'll be excited to get into more of the PvP and multiplayer type of elements of this game, as it has a huge online community around it, and you will need to be connected online in order to play this game. But I'm very excited to dive into more of the guild gameplay and then build out the floating island, find more unique swords and other weapons along the way to upgrade and build out for all members of my team, and dive into some very cool, exciting boss fights all along the way. If you're looking for something to play right now on the Nintendo Switch, I cannot recommend Guardian Tales enough. Again, I have the link in the description down below. Feel free to click that and go check it out for yourself and install it on your Nintendo Switch and have a lot of fun. So I want to say a huge thank you once again to Guardian Tales for sponsoring today's video, and please let me know in the comments down below whether or not you're familiar with this title, what your overall thoughts and impressions are of it. If you've played it so far, are you interested in it with everything you've seen on screen and the description of the game, and will you be checking it out? And do you, like me, think it may be one of the best free-to-play action RPGs on the eShop right now? Because that's definitely where I'm leaning after being hours and hours immersed into this game. So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around this topic. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.